Yes, very good.
And the oil price, we're just coming off the high.
Hello, am I audible to you? Good afternoon. Assalamu alaikum.
Good afternoon,
Yes,
sir.
sir, you
Assalamu
are
alaikum,
audible.
salam.
Walaikum salam, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Um,
sir, you are.
Walaikum assalam.
okay. So I'm just waiting for more students to join. Now, yeah, I think we have more than 50 students at this point of now. So let me start the class. It's already 12:15. Dear students, as you know that we have started our discussion on the application of functions. And by and large, it is clear to all of us that functions are very useful from the point of view of management and business organization, because there are many problems which can be solved by the application of function. That is the point which I have already shared and I have discussed with all of you, right? Uh, I use the word there are many functions which can be resolved, which can be solved by functions. Uh, Primarily, three or four areas are very, very pertinent and very appropriate for the application of functions. These areas, as I have already hinted out in my previous classes, especially the area which are related to accounting and economics and accounting. Maybe you are attending the classes of Walid sir for economics and Javed sir for accounting. I suppose, I hope that all of you are attending those classes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Good,
sir.
Yes, sir.
good. So, you are aware of that the entire corporate, the business organizations, uh, are engulfed with the issues related to cost, the issues related to expenditure, which we call it as expenses, and then thereafter we have revenue, and thereafter we have profit or loss. So this family is very, very important for us from the point of view of business organization. Number one, the cost. Number two, the revenue, right? Number three, the profit. Number four, the loss, for example, and other related things which comes out of that. That's very, very important issue for all of us, and we have to convert these concepts into mathematical expression and finding out our solution. So that's what So I would like to just quickly brief upon these three four concepts and how do we apply the concept of function in this here with the help of my word file, which I'm opening right now. Is the file visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Uh, First word which I would like to tell you is this was price. Price of the product. As you know that I already briefed you that every area that we discuss, every subject has its own language, has its own terminology, has its own style of writing, has its own grammar. The same is true with price also. The same is true with the this analysis, mathematical analysis, and the topic which I am taking right now. It has its own symbols. It has its own way of writing functions, for example. So price P generally represented with small p. So you'll see that price is represented in most of the problem. The price is represented with this P, right? And then we have cost, which is generally represented with small c or capital C, whatever it is. It's depend upon the choice, right? So we have capital C or small c. I will keep it capital C. Then we have revenue, and revenue generally represented by capital R. Then we have the profit, which is represented with capital P. So price is represented with a small p, and profit is always represented with this capital P. This is the point of difference between the two. And this nomenclature we usually follow in all our calculations. So whenever we read any problem and we convert them into mathematical expression, we need to remember that small p generally represent price until unless it is mentioned in the question, it is representing something else. We represent this as a price. Right? So we represent this as a price. Then we have cost C, then we have revenue, and then let me talk about the concept also. Price P, as you all know, is the price that is like
Value into quantity.
that the point is that I'm talking about the total price. So what do we call it as? That for example, this is per unit price, right? Per unit price. So we need to multiply it with the quantity. So quantity, for example, Q. So if I multiply P with Q, that will give me an idea that this is what we have. So price generally will be represented with this P, price per unit at time. Here, when we are talking about the price, we are talking about the price function. So price as a function of, for example, X. This I will give you example of the price function. Then you will be in a better position to understand. But generally, price can be represented like for example, price Px is equal to 2 minus 3x. I can write price as a price function 2 minus 3x. So whatever it is, for example, 4, 4 plus 4 plus 6x. This is the price function. So price P is a per unit price that we are talking about. So per unit price is represented in the form of function. Let me elaborate this concept of cost. Maybe in your paper of accounting, by now, Javed Saab have already briefed you about this concept of cost and costing, where you know that cost is primarily divided into two components. What are those two components? Fixed cost plus
Variable
Variable
cost.
cost. Variable cost.
fixed cost, as the name itself gives you an idea. This is the constant. For example, 200. This is a fixed cost. It will remain constant throughout the analysis, throughout the period of time. Whereas variable cost is that cost which vary with quantity,
Varies with the level of.
with the amount, with the quantity generally. So labor cost, repair and maintenance cost, and all these are the variable costs because it vary along the volume, along the quantity. So we have the variable cost and it is represented with, for example, 3 multiplied with the quantity, for example, multiplied with the quantity, this quantity, for example, X. So this is what we have here, that we have cost has two components, fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed cost is something which is fixed, but variable cost is represented with the help of, again, it is the cost which vary with quantity, with volume. So variable cost can be represented with the help of a function also, or with some expression, with mathematical expression, because it varies. So generally, variable cost is a function of X, and for it can be represented like 3 into the capital X. Capital X. Variable cost is a function of X. 3 multiplied by this, I can write it down like this also, 3 dot X, so that you can understand it, 3 into X. So variable cost, fixed cost will remain, for example, fixed cost is equal to 200. So fixed cost is 200, variable cost is 3x. So if I put these values here, it will become 200 plus 3 into x, that is variable cost. So cost is very important. This part is very important for us for the discussion because it is something which needs a proper elaboration, because cost has two components, fixed cost and variable cost, and both are equal to, both are important for us. Now let me talk about this revenue. Revenue, according to the definition, is what? It is the total amount that you generate. So total amount means per unit price P multiplied with the quantity. Suppose I'm talking about the quantity capital X. So P into X. So per unit price P, that is, for example, I purchase 100 pens and the price of one pen is 5 rupees. So price per pen is 5 rupees and I bought 100 pens. So what we need to do is we multiplied 5 with this. So I would, for example, per unit price is 5. Per one pen, the price is 5 multiplied by, I have purchased 100 pens. So 5 into 100. So this is what we have, 5 into 100. That is what we need. That is what the calculation, and this is what the revenue. So revenue is what we have, price, this price multiplied with the quantity. So if you multiply price with the quantity, you will get the revenue, and that is the reason revenue is also represented in the form of function. यही वजह है कि revenue को भी हम function की form में represent करते हैं. So revenue, conceptually, it is the multiplication of the per unit price with the quantity, price per quantity. Okay? And that is why we have P into the variable, the quantity X, and that is why the revenue function is also this P into X. Any confusion, any doubt up till here?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Price per unit, this is P, small p, I'm saying. Then cost, fixed cost plus variable cost. Then revenue is the product of price into quantity. Now, this is what we have. This is cost, and at times this is also known as total cost. इसको हम कभी-कभी cost भी कहते हैं, और चाहें तो हम इसको total cost भी कह सकते हैं. एक ही बात, अगर हम इसको कहते हैं total cost, तो भी it remains the same. So sometimes it can also be represented as simply this one, capital T and capital T and C. So total cost, we also call it as total cost. हम इसे total cost भी कहते हैं. So it will remain the same. Either you call it as cost or you call it as total cost. It will remain the same until and unless you differentiate that this is variable cost and this is fixed cost. This is revenue. Now, once you have the revenue, we can calculate 2-3 important things. First among them is the profit. And as you know, conceptually, what is profit? Profit is the revenue, which you have revenue. Yes. Minus. Yes. What do I do here? What I need to do here?
Expenses.
Expenses. Yeah, right. Generally, this is expenses. So revenue minus expenses is a basic equation of profit, is a basic calculation of profit. Here, revenue, I would call it as that capital R as a function. Revenue function minus expenses here stand for all the cost that is incurred. So we have total cost function X. So revenue function, total cost function here, which I have represented here, total cost function. So total cost is a function of small x, price is also a function of small x, and we have profit. Profit is coming out to revenue, and that is why I will write it down simply, this profit as capital P as a function of small x. Profit equal to revenue minus total cost. If this value comes out to be positive, if this value comes out to be positive, this is profit. If this value comes out to be negative, this is loss. So I am just talking about the first function. This is the function number 1. This is the function 1, which I have discussed with you, price function. Then we have the total cost function. This is the second function which I have discussed with you, total cost function. And then I would move to this function, which is the third very, very important function under consideration. This one, that is revenue function minus total cost function, that gives you the profit. This is the thing. I hope whatever I am discussing here is clear to all of you. 3 functions which I have discussed.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Especially those who don't have a mathematical background and who have not studied function in detail. Profit.
Sir, voice is not audible.
Price function, small p. Yes. Hello?
Not audible.
Sir, you were not
Not
audible. You
audible.
were not audible, sir.
हाँ,
Now
हाँ,
you're
वो-
audible.
नहीं, मुझे मालूम है, वो एक मेरा नेट थोड़ा डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया था. ठीक है, बिल्कुल.
Okay, sir.
आप लोग बिल्कुल परेशान ना हो. मैं हर वक्त ऑडिबल हूँ और हर वक्त अवेलेबल हूँ. डोंट वरी फॉर दैट. ठीक है, कभी भी आप कोई भी डिस्कशन क्वांटिटेटिव मेथड से रिलेटेड है, तो वो ये जरूरी नहीं है कि हम क्लास के टाइम पे ही डिस्कशन हमारा हो रहा है. एनी टाइम, राइट, अकॉर्डिंग टू द अवेलेबिलिटी. I am available, so you can contact me anytime and you can discuss with me. We can have some remedial classes also. That's not an issue at all. कहीं भी कोई confusion हो रहा है तो you stop me in between, discuss. This is an interaction going on, right, between me and you. So, yes, Ishan.
सर हम प्रॉफिट को सर पाई से भी तो सर रिप्रेजेंट कर सकते हैं सर, कंफ्यूजन दूर करने के लिए सर।
पाई से?
यस सर।
हाँ, देखिए मैं फिर आपको रिपीट कर दूं, ये तो एक रिप्रेजेंटेशन है, सिंबॉलिक रिप्रेजेंटेशन। आप पी से ना करके आप टी से कर दीजिए, कोई इससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, आप ऐसे कर दीजिए, ये तो एक सिंबॉलिक रिप्रेजेंटेशन है। आप टी से कर दीजिए। as far as whenever you fulfill the equation, the concept, there is no problem. But हम इसको पी से इसलिए करते ताकि थोड़ा सा पहचान करने में हमें आसानी हो जाए, आइडेंटिफिकेशन हमारे लिए आसान हो जाता है। आप जितना अलग अलग टर्म को यूज करेंगे, आप क्यू यूज कर लीजिए, बस आपको ये डिफाइन करना पड़ेगा कि QX is calculated by taking the difference of revenue function and total cost function, and this is QX stands for profit. So the moment you put it here, it will remain the same. So that's not an issue. ये तो सिंबॉलिक रिप्रेजेंटेशन है। आप कॉस्ट को सी से ना करके टी कर लीजिए, आप आर को आर ना करके एम कर लीजिए। So that is only this is only for identification, but we use that letter which we feel comfortable that we can easily identify that this is stands for what. जब भी कोई क्वेश्चन होगा तो क्वेश्चन में तो पूरा एलैबोरेट होता है, और क्वेश्चन में तो फंक्शन आपको खुद बनाना है, so it's your choice. ठीक है? But your suggestion is very valid. We can use any symbol, be it pi, be it whichever you feel comfortable. Okay. So let me move ahead, and I would like to tell you one important thing here. Focus your attention on the last equation, that is profit equation. That's a very important thing for us. Is the word file visible to all of you? Profit function which I'm referring to right
Yes,
now?
sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Let's see the three scenario that emerge from this profit equation. क्या क्या हो सकता है? एक कंडीशन ये हो सकती है कि revenue is greater than cost. In other words, this revenue function, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि revenue function is greater than the cost. Revenue is greater than the cost. If this is the scenario, you understand this is profit. This is profit. No doubt about it. This is a profitable situation. Sometimes the situation can be revenue less than equal to cost. जितना खर्चा आ रहा था, इतने एक्सपेंसेस आ रहे थे, वो ज्यादा थे, और रेवेन्यू जो हम जनरेट कर रहे थे वो कम था. So we have capital R X less than the cost. This is the scenario. I hope you understand it naturally.
Loss, sir.
Loss. Third scenario is very important for us. Revenue equal to cost. That means revenue function is this and equal to the cost function. This third scenario is very important because you all have an idea about this concept where revenue is greater than cost. We have profit.
So break even point.
हाँ, ठीक है. जो लोगों को पता है उनके लिए तो I understand. Those who know this concept, that's perfectly okay. I know that maximum students know about this concept, but my focus is on those who, for the first time, they are understanding this concept. So for them, revenue is greater than cost is a profit. Revenue less than is a loss. But what would happen if revenue equal to cost? People are coming out with a new term, which you might have learned it, but this is the first time you are learning break-even analysis, break-even point, break-even. And this is one of the break-even point, right? This is the point. This is the situation where revenue equal to cost. Now, what does this point stand for? ये point word जो लगाया गया है यहाँ पर break-even के साथ, ये point किसी के साथ point नहीं लगाया गया. But here we have added the word point. What is this point here infer? Point here is a very important thing, that this break-even, this is a situation at a particular point. Now, this point here stands for, my point here stands for that we are looking for at which value of X this situation is coming. So this value of X, which is the point at which quantity, finally, it's what, at which quantity we are talking about, at which quantity we have. So is this visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So by point here stand for that whenever we have the situation when revenue equal to the cost, we call this as break even point. ये वो situation है जहां पर revenue और cost दोनों बराबर हैं. In other words, there is no profit, there is no loss. Point here stand for the value of X. That is the quantity at which we attain this condition. And this is a very important decision point for managers, because managers are always concerned of calculating the break even. That is the quantity at which we are neither at a loss nor at a profit. This sets a benchmark for them to operate. This sets a benchmark for them to decide. अगर मुझे पता है कि मैं कोई काम कर रहा हूँ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमने कैंटीन स्टार्ट करी, ठीक है, और कैंटीन में हमने ये कैलकुलेट किया कि नंबर ऑफ एक्स, और हम सैंडविचेस की बात कर रहे हैं, और हमने निकाला कि एक्स 400 सैंडविचेस, फॉर एग्जाम्पल हमने कहा कि ये हमारा आ रहा है सैंडविचेस, तो 400 सैंडविचेस का हमारे ये निकल कर आ रहा है ब्रेक इवन, कि हमारे पास ब्रेक इवन है. सो व्हेन वी हैव दिस 400 सैंडविचेस and we are talking about this, this is the point at which there is no profit and loss. Now as a factory manager, I know that if I want to be at a profitable situation, अगर मैं factory manager हूं तो मुझे मालूम है कि if I want to keep myself at a profitable situation, I have to manufacture more than 400 sandwiches. I have to sell out more than 400 sandwiches in a day to remain at a profitable situation. If in case my sale or my manufacturing reduced from 400 to less, that means I am moving in the danger zone, that is the loss making zone. तो अगर आपको प्रॉफिटेबल जोन में रहना है तो आपको 400 से ज्यादा बनाना है. अगर आप 400 से कम बना रहे हैं तो आप लॉस की तरफ जा रहे हैं. तो ये जो कैलकुलेशन होता है ब्रेक इवन का, ये बड़ा ही इंपॉर्टेंट डिसीजन पॉइंट होता है फॉर अ मैनेजर टू टेक अ डिसीजन. हाउ डू वी रीच टू दिस ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट? वी रीच टू दिस ब्रेक इवन पॉइंट आफ्टर फॉर्मिंग the profit function with the help of the revenue and the total cost. हम इस पॉइंट पे जब पहुंचते हैं जब प्रॉफिट फंक्शन और रेवेन्यू फंक्शन को हम यूज करते हैं. कैसे यूज करते हैं? दैट्स अ पॉइंट दैट वी हैव, आई एम सेइंग दैट वी हैव टू यूज इट. सो दैट वी हैव टू यूज इट. So how do I use it? Profit function here. So I used it here.
Sir, I have a question.
Just one minute. Yeah, just one minute. So this profit function, revenue, if I want to use it for break even, what is the break even point? Where the profit is, there is no profit. Now the definition of no in mathematics is what? What do you mean by no in mathematics?
Zero.
Zero. So equal to revenue minus total cost X. That means if this is the situation, the obvious situation comes out to be here. If you take total cost to this side or revenue to this side, you will get revenue X equal to total cost X. This is this situation. So actually the point here is that wherever the revenue equal to the total cost, that is the point of break even, the point at which the profit is. Yes, somebody is asking a question. Yes.
Yes, sir. Kritika here. Sir, I have a question. Like, suppose, like we used to represent break-even point on a chart. So a company has, imbibed a break-even point, and then is it possibility that the company can face loss?
What I understood is what you are saying here is right now that company has achieved its break-even. Suppose
Yes,
400 sandwiches. X is equal to 400 sandwiches is a break-even point. Right, Kritika?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now the question is there any possibility that company incur a loss? So you
Yes,
give
sir.
me the
That is
answer
the
of this
question.
question, and you give me the answer of this question. What is the possibility of a sandwich manufacturer to enter into a loss zone if they manufacture more than 400 or if they manufacture less than 400?
So if they manufacture less than 100, and so there is a possibility that the inflation in the resources may increase, so that may lead to the increment in the price of a sandwich.
You are right, but all other variable, inflation and rest of the thing will remain constant during the time you use this equation, profit equal to Rx minus Cx. जब तक आप इस इक्वेशन को यूज कर रहे हैं और इस फंक्शन को फॉलो कर रहे हैं, रेस्ट ऑफ ऑल द वेरिएबल आर assumed to be constant.
Okay, sir.
Are you getting my point or not?
To some extent, sir.
Hmm?
To some extent, I'm able to understand. But
Mhm.
if is there any possibility that the condition of loss can happen?
I'm telling you now, for keeping all the other things, you know, at constant side, there is only one possibility of incurring a loss when you manufacture less than the break-even,
Okay, sir. Okay.
right? Rest
Yes,
of
sir.
all the situations, generally it comes into picture, no doubt about it. But we have different mechanism of mitigating that. If you are asking me in detail, then I'm telling you that you are right. There is a possibility, but generally what happens that in big manufacturing houses, we have a strategy of mitigating this type of risk, which you are referring to, inflation and all. So we have different mechanism whereby we can protect ourselves, we can insulate ourselves from these type of risk, inflation, cost inflation, demand and supply inflation changes all. So any market change can be controlled if you have a proper mechanism in place.
So
Because I'm
because
talking
I,
about. Mhm.
sir,
Mhm.
because
सर
I
अगर
think,
Yes, Kritika, you complete your question, please.
sir, because I think in such a situation we cannot go for forecasting demand, because sandwiches is like an edible product. So I do not think like you are saying that we can. There's a possibility of loss in coming future after the break-even point is achieved. So we cannot go for forecasting demand. So I think we
Yes.
have to keep these factors constant only to figure out the future possibilities.
Yes, we can go for demand forecasting, but in demand forecasting, we can use only that equation which will consider only one variable at a time, that is quantity. So if you
Okay, sir.
forecast with the help of quantity, no problem. But if you forecast with the help of quantity and with the help of time and with the help of inflation and with the help of interest rate and with the help of foreign currency, then definitely it would be a very complicated model of forecasting. But there are forecasting model which can incorporate all these factors into consideration. आपने बहुत सही जगह मतलब target आपने किया है, because you are right, you cannot, you can forecast, but that forecasting model is very sophisticated model that you will learn it in later part. We have a paper of operations management in the next semester whereby we have a topic of demand forecasting, in which I will brief
Sir,
you that there are different methods of demand forecasting, there are
sir,
different models of demand.
I'm in international business.
You are
I'm
in.
not in operation. But
No, no.
yes, I have worked in operation actually, so I
No,
have
no,
a knowledge about it.
no, Kritika. I'm talking about second semester. Second semester is common
Okay,
for all.
sir.
So
Okay,
that's
sir.
not for
Okay, sir.
operations. That is a basic paper of operations management, in which in the
Okay,
unit
sir.
number one we have a topic of demand forecasting. But I'm happy
Okay, sir.
that you have a good knowledge of these concepts and you understood the concept in a real sense. Yes, Hamad, you are saying something.
ये सर यही था कि इन्फ्लेशन या डिफ्लेशन जो होगा तो सर वो डायरेक्टली कॉस्ट फंक्शन को भी इफेक्ट कर देगा।
बिल्कुल
कॉस्ट
करेगा।
हमारी कम हो जाएगी और सर उसके हिसाब से बढ़ जाएगी अगर इन्फ्लेशन हो।
नहीं, वो भी है, लेकिन अभी हम जो बात कर रहे हैं वेयर वी आर कीपिंग ऑल द थिंग एट स्टेग्नेशन, एट कांस्टेंट. So we maintain status quo for during the time we calculate the forecast, during the time we calculate this break-even point. For a specific, definitely break-even point is not something which is for limitless time. It is for a specific period, and it changes with time. Okay? You
ओके
change
सर।
the it changes. You change the profit function. You change the revenue function. It got changed. But that's a good discussion. Anybody else who would like to say something about this? Anything which is not clear? Let me come to very basic once again. कोई ऐसी बात जो आपके समझ में ना आई हो? Okay, thank you. Let me move ahead. And the best way to understand and give direction to our discussion is with the help of example. So now I will show you my numerical example, and you will see that this numerical example is very straightforward. Position So I'm sharing my screen so that I will show you my question sheet also. Just wait. Yeah. Yes. So are you able to see this Word file which I'm showing you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm giving you 1 minute to please go through the statement, the problem which is given to you. This problem with regard to the break-even analysis that we have right now. Okay, just go through this question. Yes. So, what is this question all about? This question is about a product, whatever product it is. Here, for example, the product is CD. Now, what is given? The fixed cost for manufacturing the CD is given to you $24,000, right? Then we have variable cost, which cost about $6.20 per CD, which include this. There is a description about fixed cost and there is a description about variable cost. आपको दे रखा है कि fixed cost क्या cover कर रहा है और variable cost क्या cover कर रहा है, right? Then it is given that the price per CD is also given to you. That in the shop, in the retail outlet, one CD is available at a price of $8.70 each. So how many CDs must be there? So this is the question that they are putting right now in front of you. I would translate this question into mathematical expression to make this more meaningful, to give meaning to this discussion. So what is given to you? The fixed cost. So first of all, cost is given. The total cost, I will call it as total cost, right? Is given as the fixed cost plus the variable cost. Fixed cost, the variable cost. I will just keep it a bit large so that you understand it. Total cost. Total cost is given to you. Now let me form this total cost. Let us break it. First of all, fixed cost. How much is the fixed cost given to us? What is the fixed cost?
$24,000.
$24,000 is given. This is fixed. This will remain fixed. This will remain constant. So we need not to touch anything. We will not to convert them into function. But variable cost, as the name itself gives you an idea, is the function of the quantity X. Variable cost. And it is given that the variable cost is dollar. Given as dollar
$20 X.
$6.20.
6.20. It's not 20, it was 6.20 per CD. That is one CD costs 6.20. Two CDs cost 2 into 6.20. 3 will cost into this. So that means if I have X quantity, so 6.20 multiplied with X.
X.
Yeah. What is X here? X, let us elaborate this X. X is the quantity.
The units.
Quantity, number of units.
X is the number of
Number of
CDs.
units.
Number of
Right.
CDs.
Number
Number of units of CDs.
number of CDs. Right. बिल्कुल. Because सही हो गया. Number of CDs. So we have this number of CDs. So if I form the function now, we have a clear cut now total cost as a function now, because it's a total cost as a function equal to the fixed cost, which is 24,000 plus the variable cost 6.20 x. This is equation, this is function number 1. Are we all together up till here?
Yes,
क्या
sir.
आपने जो बताया?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
कोई कंफ्यूजन, किसी को कोई कंफ्यूजन? बिकॉज ये बिल्कुल स्टार्टिंग है. ठीक है.
No, sir. No, sir.
गुड.
No, sir.
राइट. वेरी गुड. We have also given, if you read out the second last line, the CD is sold to retail outlet. That is, the price at the retail outlet is this 8.70. That means the price is also given to us. The price is given to us. What shall I use the symbol? Small p or capital P?
So small p.
Small p.
Small b.
Small p, which is small p given as price. Price given as small p. This one equal, right? 8.20. One CD cost 8.20.
70.
8.70. So 8.70. But here we are talking about total price. So total price, that is, yeah, price P is 8.70. This is the we have. So if we need not to put it here, like simply have per unit price is there. 8.70 per CD. We have this per CD. So price is 8.77. Now let me talk about the second important. This is price. Now with the help of the price, we need to form revenue. What we need to do? We need to form revenue. Revenue. According to the definition, what is revenue? P multiplied with the quantity X.
Quantity.
Quantity X. That means if I just keep it here like this one. So revenue, if I keep it here, revenue is coming out to be capital R function of X. It is equal to price P multiplied with X. That is, price P is given as
8.70.
multiplied with X. 8.70. So this is the second equation that we have, equation 2, which is revenue function. So again, which is the first one? Total cost. अब मैं इसको यहाँ कर लेता हूँ ताकि आपको याद रहे. Total cost. The total cost, and this is the total revenue. So total cost and total revenue is here at the picture. Now with the help of this, I can move to the profit function. Profit, you know, as per the definition, profit is equal to revenue minus
Cost.
That means revenue function minus the cost. Profit equal to revenue minus the cost function. So if we keep it here, that means revenue function. What is revenue function here? Revenue function here is 8.70.
8.70x.
8.70x minus the total cost. So this is 24,000. ठीक है? अब इसको मैं within bracket कर देता हूँ because this needs 24,000. Then we have, I will keep it as plus 6.20x. Right? Revenue function, revenue minus cost function, that is revenue is 8.70 minus 24,000 minus 6.20. This is what we have. Now if I finally get it out, the profit function, that is capital P coming out to be small x equal to this, and if I simplify this, this will become 8.70, open the bracket, minus 24,000, if you open the bracket, plus will become minus 6.20. This is equation number 3. Oh, sorry. तो यहां तक आपके बात समझ में आई. फिर मैं बात कर रहा हूं टोटल कॉस्ट. दिस फर्स्ट इक्वेशन, वी हैव रेवेन्यू, दिस सेकंड फंक्शन, एंड दिस इज प्रॉफिट एज द थर्ड. I hope.
Sir, can we simplify it further to 2.50x?
बिल्कुल ठीक कहा आपने. I will not keep this as a third equation. I will keep this in a simplified form. She is right. She is saying let us simplify this and keep it 8.70x minus 6.20. How much this will be?
Sir, 2.50x.
2.50x.
2.50x minus 24. Now this is the final form. आपने बिल्कुल ठीक मुझे पॉइंट आउट किया. This is equation. Actually ये equation 3 है जो हमें चाहिए. This is equation number 3 that we want here. Capital P. This is profit. Now let us go back to our problem. We have all the desired equations. Now what do managers, they want to calculate? What do managers want to calculate? Manager want to calculate how many CDs must be manufactured and sold for the company to break even? What would be the number of quantity of CDs that a company manufactured and sold out in the market to reach to its break even? So what does this mean? What do you mean by break even? The point at
Profit will be
which,
zero.
the point where there is no profit and no loss, that is profit equal to zero. That is another word. We want to calculate break even. That means in simple mathematical expression means revenue function equal to the cost function. ये expression सबको clear है ना? Revenue function minus cost function. Revenue function equal to cost function.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is what we are looking for. So let me put revenue function here. What is revenue function here?
8.70x.
8.70x. So what I can do is simply revenue function equal to function, or I can put it as profit function. इसको दोबारा करने के बाद profit function equal to 0. If profit function equal to 0, I would directly put this is equal to 0. So what I will do, I will just copy cut C here, and I will put this equal to. इसको मैंने इसके बराबर कर दिया, equal to 0. यहाँ पे इसको हटा देते हैं, कर दिया. So this is what we have, equal to 0. और मैथमेटिकल फॉर्म में लिख लेते हैं. This is equal to. This point, is this equation clear to all of you?
Yes,
Any
Yes,
doubt?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Now-
sir.
Now,
Yes, sir.
with the help of this equation, what we need to calculate here, the only unknown here is x.
Unit.
X. So x, if I calculate x, x will come out to x is equal to 24,000.
Divided by 2.50.
Divided by
Divided by
2.50.
2.50.
How much is the value that you're getting
It's a
from
9600. 9600.
9600.
9600 series? That is what we are looking for. This is the answer. This is the break-even point. That is the point at which. So, what is the use of this? Now, the manager, the manufacturer know that you have to keep your manufacturing process in a way that it should always be more than 9,600. If it is more than 9,600, you are at a profitable situation. If you reduce your production to less than 9,600, there is a possibility that the loss may come. Any question, any doubt up till here?
No, sir.
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir. Thank you.
I hope that I'm able to make you understand the concept.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Definitely.
sir.
Yes, sir.
As far as possible, I'm trying to simplify this thing, keeping you those who are reading this concept for the very first time. This is the focus of the discussion. So with this class, I hope you understand that the use of function, especially for business organization, for cost, revenue, function, and break-even point, all this I try to simplify. So with this, I would like to close up today's discussion, today's class. And what I will do today, I will send you a question sheet on your WhatsApp group related to break-even, profit, loss, profit function, simple profit function, revenue function. Please try to attempt those questions. And tomorrow, I will just discuss it with you. How far you are.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.